I recently finished reading a book called Testimony by Jamie Robbie Robertson, who was in Bob Dylan's original backing group, The Band. One of the things he talks about quite extensively is how in the early stages, when Dylan used to do the first part of his show acoustically and then bring on his electronic group, as soon as his band hit the stage, they got booed off by the folk purists of the day who just knew that folk music was only supposed to be played by acoustic instruments and not electronic ones. Imagine the great music we'd have missed out on in the intervening years if they had prevailed. At English Folk Expo, one of the things that we're dedicated to do is to broaden the appeal of folk music and make sure we widen the audiences as much as possible. To that end, I'm sometimes asked, how do we get more BAME people involved in folk music? I think that's quite an interesting question, and looking at it from a personal point of view, I've tried to analyse one of the things that goes wrong. Over the last 5 or 6 years that I've been attending at English Folk Expo, probably the most common question that I've been asked is, what are you doing here? Not in any kind of hostile way, but in a way of genuine curiosity, as if to say, why is a black person coming to a folk gig? A couple of weeks ago, I got an email from an old friend, Ian Anderson from Shetland Island Broadcasting. Ian had seen a small piece about me in Music Week, the music business trade paper. And he said in the email, yes, I really enjoyed the piece, but where were the transatlantic years? Where were the tales of you trying to get airplay for Mike Harding? Because this is where I came in at the beginning of my career, and this is where Ian knew me from. I told him, I actually do talk about transatlantic quite a bit, but people don't seem to want to write about it, because it doesn't really fit in with the narrative or the little pigeonhole that black people and black music has been put. It occurs to me that what we ought to be doing is we ought to be getting out into the community rather than necessarily bringing people in. We can also do that as well, but really our role at the moment, especially at a time when music education is being cut back so dramatically and young working class people are finding it hard to access the music and the instrumentation, that the folk music scene and folk music in general should be getting out there into the wider community and assuming its rightful place as the music of the working classes and the community at large.